I'm Jared Morgan with Bradshaw & Will. I'm a commercial insurance agent, and we're here to talk about commercial insurance. Today I'd like to discuss 4 areas where most businesses have exposure, and where if you address these areas and purchase insurance to address the exposure from these areas, you will have addressed your risk in most cases. The 4 areas are comprehensive, so they may not all apply to you, but again, a general overview that gives you a good starting point in the discussion on what insurance you need to buy and what commercial insurance is. First, you have exposure from property you own or control, and this would include buildings, contents, equipment. If you're a contractor, it could include vehicles and damage to your vehicles. It would include money, if you had an employee or a third party steal money from you. All these areas are assets that you have, and if they're damaged, you would be responsible for replacing them in most cases. That would be the first area of exposure you'd need to pay attention to, which is property. The next area you would want to review would be human resources or your employees. And this area can be complex. If you don't have any employees, this would obviously not apply to you. But if you're a business who has employees, you have the risk of the employee suing you for wrongful hiring, firing, or termination. Depending on your state, you may be required to purchase workers' compensation insurance. Additionally, under this area would fall any benefits programs, health insurance, group life, disability. Also here would be fiduciary liability if you have a retirement fund for your employees. In addition to that, if you have a board of directors, board members can be sued for their activity in the business. You would want to protect them with directors and officers liability. And so you see there's several areas under human resources where a business has exposure, and that most of those areas can be insured if the exposure is understood and the insurance is designed to fit that exposure. So you have property and employees. The next area we'd want to look at would be other people, and this is third-party liability. And generally in this area, what you're looking at is you're liable to someone else because you've been found negligent or you're accused of being negligent. And the third party could be visitors to your premise, to your building. It could be customers. It could be volunteers, depending on what you do. And if you're negligent to a third party, they can sue you. You would have the defense cost of defending yourself in court, and they could also win a judgment against you. And the liability coverage would cover the exposure from third parties there. Now this includes general liability is the most common, but it could also include professional liability, liquor liability if you sell liquor. It could include many other areas depending on what you specifically do. If you have minors in your care, custody, control, it could include coverage for sexual abuse or molestation of those minors in your care, custody, and control. So there's a lot of areas under general liability you'd want to pay attention. So we have property, employees, other people, and our final area of exposure would be net income. What threats are there to your income? If you're a retail business and your retail location is destroyed, maybe you purchased insurance and it will be replaced, but it may take you 12 months to rebuild your building. If it takes you 12 months, you've lost 12 months of income. Insurance can step in and provide that lost income, and it can also provide extra expense to help you regain that income. That might mean renting a building at a different location, notifying your customers where you are, and other items like that that would cost more because your building's been destroyed. So in all those areas, you have property, employees, other people, and net income. Those are your areas of exposure. I'm Jared Morgan. We've been discussing commercial insurance.